Greetings ladies and mental gents, and welcome to today's Reddit quickie video, taken from the HFY subreddit. The story is called Hard Lessons, written by LgFatherAnthrocite. The link to the original will be down below. And as always, I hope that you enjoy. Good Laxel was searching in a small alcove where the supplies were kept for the stupid fastener when the bomb hit his squad's location. That's all that saved his life. A loose screw, as the humans would call it. Good Laxel remembered seeing the flash and then nothing, as fractions of a moment later he was hit by the twin waves of pressure and fire the human ordnance had caused. He awoke in a white room, on what felt like a perch couch assembled by artisans. It conformed so well to his underbelly and tried not to move, but he was surprised to find that all his limbs were held down at the third articulation with a soft and unyielding pressure. A few moments after he began to struggle, a soft ding alerted him and the other occupants of the room that he was awake. He looked down at his full limbs, and he was confused to see that they ended up in metal plates near the second articulation. He hissed in confusion. Just then a voice from his left spoke out. They were damaged by the explosion. Do you remember the explosion? Good Laxel continued to stare in dismay and horror at his mangled limbs. He chopped, signaling affirmation of his memory. Two small limbs, far too close together, stepped into his field of vision, and he finally managed to tear his eyes away from his now useless forelimbs and look into the faces of his captors. Standing just over 3 yokels, approximately 5 feet tall, covered in white garments, with a long brown hair and a forward-facing, tri-colored eyes, auditory condenser flaps on either side of its head, and a mouth full of teeth with a showing off in a continuous, at least to Good Laxel, disconcerting fashion. Good, it's good that you remember. Good Laxel of the Sigil. I'm Maggie Jones of the Terrans. I am a combat medic. You are in the Terran Combat Recovery Ward. Do you know what that means? The creature looked directly into the eyes while continuing to display attention. She had made an attempt at saying his name, but lacked the physiology to truly pronounce it. Good Laxel stared at the human for a moment, unsure of so many things. He was in a human soldier clinic. He was captured. I am to be made a slave, he said. The Sigil were not a slave-keeping race, but there were some in the galaxy. Humans, with whom the Sigil were currently at war, were rumored to be slave-keepers. Many of their conquered worlds were populated by humans, as well as the species that had lost those worlds to the humans. But many were populated by only humans. Many of the fighting forces from the human military were not humans, leading many to believe that simply could not use the inhabitants as slaves and instead sent them to die as cannon fodder in war. Humans were not part of the alliance, and so cultural exchange was limited. The Sigil had gone to war against the humans because the humans were living on a planet that the Sigil was granted possession by the alliance. When the Sigil colonists arrived, they had destroyed the human colony. The humans retaliated by invading the planet with the military troops, killing the defending soldiers and loading all of the colonists onto a cargo vessel and sending them back to the Sigil homeworld. The Sigil then mobilized against the outsiders. Humans do not keep slaves. We haven't done so in over a millennium. No, you are here to be healed. You see these plates? Look at the surface. She touched a control on the combat device she held, and Good Laxel felt the gentle pressure of holding down on his forelimb's release. He turned to the end of the forelimb up to look at the plate, and noticed it contained a small raised studs and some contact plates. The human continued to talk as she moved around to the side. These are contact plates, and they should allow you to control devices that can be hooked onto the arm. To start with, we have these. She pushed a small cart into his view, and on it Good Laxel saw 2 Sigil forelimb ends, complete with the 6 digits after the third articulation, and they were made of some sort of shiny plastic. She picked one up, and using both hands, as it was nearly half of her height and length, hold out your left forelimb. He extended the remnants of his limb, and when he practiced ease, she aligned the studs on the small channels at the end of the prosthesis and slid it down over the studs. locking it into place with a turn and a twist at the base. As she twisted the base, a small cuff extended, covering the ragged interface of the subglyph's flesh and the contact plate. "There we go, good as new. Try wiggling your fingers," she said, waving her own left appendage's 5 digits in a cyclic pattern. Good Axel waved his new fingers around. He turned the limb over, looking at it from all angles. He could use it without effort. He used it to touch the contact plate on his other forelimb. He was surprised to find that it felt the coolness of the metal and the pressure of the touch as well. If it were not for the strange coloration, he would have thought that his limb was not missing. He looked up at the human, and she was showing even more teeth. "Here, you try it." She rolled the card forward around to the good Axel, lifted up the prosthetic in place. He pushed it onto the studs and twisted it into place, and then extended the cosmetic cuff as the interface. He wiggled his fingers into the new limb and then touched the 2 prostheses together. Now these are just temporary replacements, training units that are going to be replaced with personalized set. The coloring will be readily close-matched to your scale pattern. It takes a while to manufacture the custom ones, so until we can work through the queue, you use these, okay? Any questions? Maggie Gones, why have you done this for me? I am your enemy, and I should be dead, but you have saved me. You have saved me, but I am not whole. I am not whole, so you made me whole. I am whole, but you do not keep slaves. Am I to be kept prisoner? I do not understand. Good Lexel looked at his captor, tilting his head slightly. My kind are good at war, good Lexel. In the entire recorded history of my world, we were at war with each other right up until we learned that we were not alone in the universe. After that, we were at war with other races. This has taught us a number of very hard lessons, and the ones I'm about to share with you are important ones. Pay attention. First, humans thrive on conflict as a species. We challenge ourselves to achieve ridiculous goals. We play more competitive sports and games than any other species that we have met, and we eat things most species classify as toxic because it's a challenge. Second, winning means innovation. Maggie began to roll up the sleeves of her shirt as she spoke. To win in all those competitions and all those games and all those wars, we are constantly searching for ways and more and better methods, training and tactics, new weapons and equipment. Third, we learn from failure and loss, even when that failure is our own, even when it is disgraceful, even when it hurts. Fourth, and most importantly, we learn that conflict with someone, something, some species cannot mean to hate it. If you hate something, you have conflict with it. You will try to eradicate it, and when conflicts are with your own species, that means you hurt yourself. Humans don't hate the Sigliv. We never wanted a war with you. We just wanted to be left alone. That's why we sent back your colonists. We were being kind. But your leaders mistook that for arrogance or weakness, or God only knows what. Now here we are, 2 crippled combat veterans with more in common than not. She twisted her own left arm off to reveal the contact plate just below the first articulation, her shoulder. The last lesson humans learn from thousands of years of war is this. When the fight is over, it is over. No grudges, no hate, no animosity. Someone wins and someone loses. Who won isn't important as how they won. Did they do it with dignity and respect? Did they show the losers they were respected? Did they honor the sacrifices of the dead and the fallen on all sides? There are a great many Terran colonies where humans and aliens live together, because we have learned that these lessons and respected our enemies and made them our friends. Sadly, not everyone understands these lessons, and they fight till there is no one left. These are our greatest losses, when we cannot reach our enemy to teach them these lessons. Maggie reattached her arm and rolled down her sleeve. We will fix your wounds and give you your freedom. It took humans over 3,000 years of pain and blood and death to learn these things. You can return to fighting us, or you can learn your lesson. And that, my friends, is the end of this Reddit Quickie. I hope that you enjoyed. If you'd like to support this channel, there are numerous ways to do so, listed in the description down below. The easiest and best way would be to share this video and my channel as much as possible. I'll see you all in the next video, and I hope that you have a good one until then. Cheers.